Sunday. Figured I'd do another one of these since it's a pretty quiet weekend. I like it. I haven't had a quiet weekend like this in a while. Just woke up drinking coffee. I was up late doing my other nerd hobby, which is watch anime. Oh, this guy doesn't have a hand yet. Let me draw this guy a hand while we talk. Uh, yeah. So what? Yeah, mainly it's quiet because 6 cards. That's not right. Well, that's really good. It's been quiet mainly because, like I said in the last video, Innistrad Remastered comes out pre-release this weekend. And for those of you who missed the story before, it was just sort of I misunderstood something. I knew there was going to be a pre-release event over the weekend, but I also thought they were going to be selling boxes to stores who were eligible to like pre-sell boxes. But apparently, that's not the case in this set. So what's happening now is I went home debating, what do I do now? That kind of like goes with my plans for the weekend. What's up? And because I didn't want to do the pre-release draft or the sealed even because again, I go to places that do sealed like every week. So like I don't need to go there during the time where it's like super crowded, a bunch of people are there, and so I figured I'd take the time for this weekend to enjoy a little more Commander. Like I said in the previous video, it was a lot of fun. I played against some guys at the local game store. Really fun friend group, and what I really appreciate about them is their, and I've been meeting a few friend groups like this, like the kind where you not only get to play Commander with them, but you could also joke around and have fun with them because that's the ideal friend group where you could play openly and not have to worry about the other person kind of being like, oh, what are you, blah, 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 blah. Which is bound to happen sometimes because, you know, sometimes there are good points made, but it's always fun just to have like that friend group that you know you could just play with and have fun. So did that yesterday, did draft, did okay in the draft on Arena and then all of that. But what I was able to get a lot done of yesterday was posting more singles from Brothers War. So as always, feel free to check out my TCG. Just go to TCG, find seller, and type in Deck Doctor, and you'll see all the stuff we currently have posted, and there's more to come. We also might do, I don't know if I'll actually do this, but I'm halfway done posting all the Brothers War stuff, so you'll see most of it. The next box we're going to get once we're done posting all that is Dominaria United, because we're going backwards in time. Either that or we might just go remastered with a couple, because I know next Friday I'm going to get a box of Innistrad Remastered, of course, but like the weekend after that, or sometime that same week, depends on how things go. I'm also tempted to get a Ravnica Remastered box, and I know a place that still sells those, so we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But until then, just thought we'd do another practice game and kind of like do the walkthrough. If there's enough people watching during the live stream, feel free to make some comments on what you would do in a situation, or maybe some thoughts or preferences, or just check out the cards and decks I have, whichever. Take from there. So this pod is a little different than some of the past lives I did in the past, because normally, what I always say is, oh, you know, people are gonna make threat assessments based off of your commander, but the hilarious things about high power level games like this, so like let's say one person was playing something that's obviously broken, like I'm just using it as an example, like Omnath or Cascade, right, or Eldrazi, any of them. Like imagine there was only one of these decks at the table, and then there were 3 other either kind of known but less scary or less known commanders. People are going to be like, uh-oh, someone is playing Eldrazi or something like that. And so obviously in the beginning, people's heads are going to be turned that way because they're like, I know Eldrazi are gross, like what we need to focus on that because he's going to play the Titans, he's going to do all this gross stuff, and like we just need to make sure we can stop him. And the same for each of these decks. But the nice thing about high power level games like this, where everyone's playing a high power level deck, is it kind of cancels some of that out. And what I feel about that is, like, for example, if everyone else was playing what the commander would seem to be a mid or low power, then obviously they're going to look and say, well, obviously our attention has to be to the Abyssin player because they're probably doing like board wipes and land destruction. We got to stop them. And while in the meantime, the other players are maybe doing something sneaky and all that. But and the nice thing about high power level games where everyone's playing a, oh my gosh, I know what that commander does game, is we all know, right? We all know, and we all know that everyone's a threat, and it kind of keeps that open mindset of we're all here playing high power instead of thinking, oh my gosh, this one high power commander or this one commander that everyone will assume is high power is going to go at people. So it just kind of helps keep the game a little more balanced, right? And so that's what I like about these high power level games is you could play what you want to play and go crazy, but people also will have their expectation. That's why I always like what one of my friend groups when I first got like more really into Magic said, which is, hey, like you take out a deck, we're going to make our assumptions. It's natural based off of what commander you're playing, but until we play a couple games to you to see if what you're saying is true, because again, everyone can say, oh, my deck isn't that high power level, and it's like, maybe that's true, maybe that's not true, but again, these are scary commanders, so sometimes they might target you a bit until they see what you're talking about, which is, oh, you play that card, okay. Oh, you're going that route, okay. And not like, oh my gosh, I've seen what this could do in CEDH, or oh my gosh, I know what this commander does, played against before, and so on and so forth. But yeah, in this case, this is definitely going to be like a more high power level game where everyone's going crazy, or attempting to go crazy. Maybe my definition of crazy, and some of you would be like, why are you playing that? That card sucks. But anyway, yeah, with that, we're going to start off with the mono white deck. It has a hidden theme to it, so hopefully if people watch this later, they don't go like, oh, like, what kind of person are you? But we'll take it from there. So, draw. Gonna keep it plain and simple with basic planes and pass. Also, that reminds me, there's still a few decks like this that I'm trying to trade out for full art, so I gotta take care of that at some point. He's going to play a lands, Courtyard, naming Eldrazi, of course. Then he's going to draw. Oh, that's awkward. You'll know why soon. He's going to play a tap land, and then he's going to pass. Then it's on to the Cascade player's turn. He's going to untap and draw. Ooh, that's not bad. He is... Oh, this might be awkward. He's going to play a tap land and pass. So then it's going to go on to this player's turn, draw. Another planes, and this is where it's going to get really weird. For 2, he's going to play Rune of Protection from white. I kind of run those in here as a joke. It's this enchantment that says you could either cycle it to draw a card, or you could pay a white to prevent all damage from a target white source this turn. So that way, if something white were to come at me, I could just pay 1 and say, nope, doesn't do any damage. And I have all 5 in there because of this joke that some of you might catch up on and some of you may not. So this guy's just going to play another land and pass. Untap, draw. This is where the guy's going to do something. His hand's not so hot, but Soul Ring and play a bounce land. And then he's going to pass the turn. So, of course, everyone's like, oh my gosh, bounce land and Soul Ring, he's ripping, oh my gosh. So naturally, that's probably where likely people are going to start looking first. So tap land and go. So untap, draw. Not bad. He's going to play a lands, a Mind Stone, and play the black version of this card. So now he could pay a white to stop a black source from coming his way. So then draw for turn. Oh, you'll definitely recognize this. This is like, it feels kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you're like, there's the 2 main character cards in there where you're like, oh my gosh, I had Dark Magician, and now I just drew Dark Magician Girl, or something. I don't know, but like in this case for 3, the Suing Scourge or whatever, the other commander in here. What is this? When this or another color's creature you roll dies, get an experience counter. So then it will go to Omnath's turn, draw. Not a bad draw. He's going to play a tap land. He's going to float 4 mana. 3 of it's going to be used for Chromatic Lantern. He's going to leave the blue float. It doesn't really matter, it's Chromatic Lantern. And then for 1, he's going to play Trade Routes. I think it's so good in Landfall. It's an enchantment that says pay 1, return land you control to its owner's hand. Or you could pay 1, discard land, and draw a card. I think in Omnath or any blue Landfall, that's so good. Because you literally have a way to put lands back into your hand. And that way you don't have to worry about running out of lands in a Landfall decks. If you're running blue, I think that enchantment's an absolutely. So this guy, he's going to, for 2, play Bloom Tender, and then he's going to pass. He's off on lands, but now, hey, at least he has a Bloom Tender. So then untap and draw for the white player. Land, when it enters, he gains a life. So he's going to go to 41, winning. And then he's got 5... Oh, this is good. He's going to play Geogolem. For those of you who don't know what Geogolem is, it's a 5/3 with trample that says when it deals damage, you basically could cast your commander right from the command zone. If it has command tax, you still have to pay the command tax, but in it, I like him in decks that have a high-cost commander. Because if you have a high-cost commander that costs way more than 5, then I think it's really good to put in there just so a way you can sneak out your commander for a cheaper price. In CEDH, probably won't work, but like in high-power level games or like casual games, I think he's pretty great. So, Unclaimed Territory, naming Eldrazi, and then for 4, he's going to play Mystic Forge. And for those of you who don't know, it lets people look at the top card of their deck and then decide, and if they, of course, have the cost to pay it, they could play either a color spell or an artifact from the top of their deck. It's just a land. He's going to not even bother to do the tap, pay 1 thing, because he might want it anyway. So, draw for turn. Okay, this is about to get gross. So, for 1 of each color, he's going to play Omnath. Trigger, draw a card when it enters. He's then going to play his first land for turn. Trigger, gain 4 life, go to, I'm going to reach around for a dice, go to 44. And then he has some good cards in the hand, but it's a really awkward cost. So for now, oh, that's what that's a cool trick you could do. He's going to float 2 mana. He's going to return. Did I just play that? See, I'm already doing the thing. Yeah, he already played a land for turn. So instead, he's going to do a cool trick. He's going to, for 1, play Burgeoning, because Chromatic Lantern can count for anything. And this is the cool trick I was about to show you guys. So you pay 2, so 2 floating. He's going to return these 2 lands to his hand and then proceed past the turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 7 cards in hand exactly, so I'm going to discard. The reason why is because now with Burgeoning out, and I should take a photo of those 2 and like post those later to tell the guys, because those 2 together are disgusting in Landfall, because you got the enchantment that says pay 1, return a land you control to your hand. Then you have Burgeoning, which is whenever your opponent plays a land, you get another land. So basically, in a Landfall deck, you could basically use that as a control freak and be able to basically be like, okay, I'm just going to play lands with you guys. So that's sort of a cool trick I like to use with those 2 enchantments. And they're only like, they're such low mana. Like this one's 1 and this one's 2. So that's pretty good. You can get them out right away. I think those are so good in both an Omnath deck or any Landfall that has blue and green in it. So anyway, so the Cascade player is going to draw his card. He has 3 mana at the moment. His hand's not so hot. But I think just for the purpose of color fixing, he's going to play Dryad. And then he's going to pass the turn. So then this is the cool trick I was talking about a second ago. So now it's going to go onto the Absent player's turn, land for turn. They're going to go to combat. And obviously they're going to look at the person who's most open. And I would... he could... There is one side about... Oh, this guy played a land, so the gross thing happens. So... played a land, Burgeoning trigger. will also play a land, gain 4 life, go to 48. So he could go at the Omnath player because, in fairness, there's no way the Omnath player is going to block. I mean, because he's not going to lose the big commander. So in a way, you could attack him, and the odds of him actually blocking are very low. But at the same time, the same goes for the other two. And so some might still say go for the Omnath player, but I'm actually going to go at the Eldrazi player for now. And of course, he's not going to lose that, so he's going to take 5, go to 35, and because he did, he could cast his Absent Angel of Hope for free. So he casts his Absent Angel of Hope for free, so then for 5, what he's going to do is go ahead and play Defiler of Faith. It's the Dominaria Phyrexian that is in white, where every time you cast a white permanent spell, you get a 1/1. You can also pay 2 life for one of the white mana symbols once a turn, so that's pretty good. So then draw. Look at the top of Mystic Forge. It's not a colorless spell. So what he's going to do is pay 1 life, go to 34, exile from the top just to see what else he could get. There we go. He's going to play a, I don't think he has something, lands, and for 5 colorless, he's going to cast his commander. I think for now, he's just going to pass. So then it will go on to, he did play a land though, so Omnath, of course, going to do the cool trick, play a land, gain 4 more life, go to 52, proceed to his turn, draw. So now this is the part where he's going to get some other gross stuff out. I'm kind of cringing. Oh my gosh. 3, 5, 6. He's going to play Royal Elemental. For those who don't know, it's a 6-drop 3/2 landfall. Whenever a land enters battlefield under your control, you may gain control of target creature for as long as you have this creature. So this is where people are like, okay, maybe we should hold off of playing lands for a bit, and they know why, because he's going to pay 1, bounce this to his hand, and then, actually, that's not, yeah, so pay 1, bounce the mouse into his hand, because he needs a land that doesn't enter tap so he can keep going, and then pass. So this is where it's going to get really creepy. Now, untap, draw. This guy's in a pickle because he knows he could play a land. So like, let's say that this is where, now in reality, people aren't going to know what's going on. So let's just say for a second, this guy didn't see what was going on. He's going to play a land like normal. And then the other player is going to be like, oh, cool. I'll, when you do that burgeoning, I'll play a land, trigger, gain 4, go to 56. Then this trigger, I'm going to attempt to steal your druid. Of course, if this was the salty player, he'd probably say something like, oh my gosh, why are you doing this? That's not cool. That's my only way to play it. But that's what he's doing. He's trying to win right now. This is a more high power level game. That's what happens to high power level games. So he doesn't have a response, so this gets taken. And that's when the players would start saying, oh, shoot, like, that's kind of gross. Maybe we shouldn't play lands. 4, 5, 6, 7. He is going to go ahead and play Carpet of Flowers, though, because just hope to get mana. So that's when this player is going to hesitate, because at the end of turn, he's going to say, okay, on your end step, I'm going to pay 1 to put this back into my hand. And I'll probably do a short show on this at the end. And then proceed to turn. Draw. He's going to avoid, well, it's anytime anyone plays a land, so he knows his commander's going. So what he's going to do right now while the player's tapped out is for 1, he's going to swords that flyer. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a response, so this is going to get exiled. He's going to gain 3 life, go to 59. Dang. I need more dice. And this will return to this player. Because he's like, I'm not losing my commander to that. No way. That's lame. So that happens. He's then going to, for 3 mana, go ahead and play a pariah on his commander. So, or maybe he'll put it on the golem. So he puts it on the golem, so now Any damage dealt to him is actually dealt to this, but again, all the permanents are indestructible. So basically, he has a huge shield. So then he's going to go to combat. So the question is, who's the scariest? Well, on one hand, Eldrazi or Eldrazi, but on the other hand, the Landfall guy's doing stuff. So he's going to go 8 commander in the air at the Eldrazi player. Sorry, at the Landfall player. So he takes 8 commander down to 53, and then he's going to, down to 51 with 8 commander, and then he's going to pass the turn. So now we go to the Eldrazi player, untap, draw. Look at the top card. That's pretty good. He's going to, for 5, I think, that's not a good idea. He wanted to play a fun card, but he knows that's not the best idea right now. He's going to play another land, and then for 6 mana, he's going to play Sire Stagnation. I loved this card ever since I first started playing Magic, because I actually started playing in Battle of Zendikar, and I love this guy. So I'm glad I was so happy when I saw he was in the pre-con. So then, gonna pass the turn, and the Landfall player is not happy about that. Well, of course, before he casts it, he's gonna play the land and gain 4 more life, but still, that's not fun for a Landfall player. That's like a middle finger to all Landfall players, so he definitely wants to get rid of that before he could actually go off. So, because yeah, now his whole hand is useless, because like if I play a land, I have to deal with that. That's rude. Ouch. Because even if he does the trick he was gonna do, like, fun fact, he has a card that says return all lands back to their hands, but with that out, that actually helps. So he needs to figure out a way to get rid, or hope someone gets rid of that before he continues. So I think for now he's actually just going to pass. So upkeep, I don't think anyone has an island. So untap and draw. Lands, what does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 5 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so what he's going to do is for 5, he's going to pay an extra Opal Palace to play his commander and give it a counter. And then he's going to pass the turn. So then untap and draw. For 4, he's going to play, end step, he's going to crack Mindstone, draw, and then draw for turn. So for 4, he's going to play Thran Dynamo. And then floating 4, he's going to play this, but then he's also going to put a roll token on, and there's a reason I put the card in the deck, and you all judge me for sure. Sorcerer Roll token. I know I have those. There it is, Sorcerer Roll. So, gets +1/+1, and whenever it attacks, scry 1. So, combat. Did he play that? I forgot. So, he paid 2. I don't remember. So he drew that, and then maybe he did draw a land. I just forgot. I know he drew a land, so exile top 2, and he will draw 2. And then the Landfall player's like, you see, you guys, gotta take care of it. I'm assuming this guy did because. Oh wait, no, he drew this and that. Yeah, so like he didn't play a land. So then. Combat. He still wants to kill the Landfall player. I mean, he was doing stuff all game, and also this guy gets a 1/1 soldier of a casting of white soldier. Yeah, I have white soldiers. Bam, human soldier. So he has the human soldier, and he's gonna take 9 more commander, go to 6, 1 more shot, and he's dead. So then on to the Eldrazi player's turn. Untap. Draw. Look at the top. Ooh, that's pretty good. So he's going to play the 3-tree city, which obviously he's naming Eldrazi. P3... Oh, no, that would be exact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so he's close, but not there. So for... Oh, I think he has a way around it. He's going to cast Insidious Tailsmaster. He's going to get control of one of each thing. He's going to take this guy's creature, Omnath, and this commander. I think he's going to go to combat and have all of these go at him because he's doing the most stuff. So Annihilator 4 total, so he's going to sack the token, the enchantments, and the Sage. He's not going to declare blocks because all the damage would go to this anyway, but since it moves zones, and it's not indestructible anymore, so that dies. So does the Pariah, which is rude. So I guess maybe he could have, originally he was going to put it on his commander, but then it's like, oh, but then if I lose my commander, I lose that and that, but, it happens. So, end of turn, these go back. I do, of course, still have the Sire Stagnation, which really hurts the landfall player, so he's going to draw. He's just going to play this for 3, and then he's going to pass because he just doesn't know what to do. So then it'll go to the Cascade player's turn, untap, draw. No one has islands. So he's going to go to combat. He's going to swing 6 at the landfall player. Landfall player is just going to say 6 because he knows he's pretty much dead next turn anyway. So he's going to then say, okay, all my stuff is Cascade. For 4/8, he's going to cast Maelstrom Wanderer. So it has 2 Cascades plus the 1 from the commander. So he Cascades 3 times for 8. 1, 2, has to be less if it's Cascade. Brass's Bounty. So he's going to cast that 2. He's going to get 4 treasures off of that. He's going to use the 4 for Junk Troller, Cascade. I like Junk Troller in there just because it puts it back in the deck. It has to be less because it's Cascade, not Discover. He's going to get a free Swiftfoot Boots. Then he's going to pass the turn. We'll move on to the Indestructible player's turn. Untap, draw. He is going to go ahead and play a land. Trigger, exile top 2. Eldrazi player is going to draw 2. Cool. And then he's going to, for 3 plus 2 life from the other guy, play the Phyrexian Vindicator. On cast, he does get a human token, and then this guy's going to go to combat and finish off the landfall player. Landfall player, of course, dies. Because that, again, I'm going to leave these cards out, though, just so I can remember to show them off to someone later. I think they're going to really like it. So yeah, I have a couple Omnath friends who I want to show them a picture of, and they'll kind of put 2 and 2 together. So he's dead. He's got nothing else. It'll go to the Eldrazi player's turn. So untap and draw. He's going to play a lands. I think I know what he's going to do. So, he already played a lands. So let's do some math. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 9. He's going to play Voidwinter. So now people can't even. So then he's going to go to combat, and How much damage does he have on the board? 11, 16, 18, 20, 27. He could go all out at someone, but he has to be careful because he knows the Cascade player or him will come after him right after. But likely, he's probably going to come after him more just because he does have a flyer commander, which is scary. So I think for now, he is just going to go ahead and swing these two there and nothing there. So Annihilator trigger. He's going to sacrifice one of the lands. He's going to sacrifice the token. What am I saying? Because that's worthless anyway. He's going to... Actually, no, the Eldrazi player shouldn't attack at all. This is where it gets really challenging because on one hand, he might be thinking, oh, Voidwinter, he's got this. No, this is still pretty bad. So he's going to pass the turn and hope he doesn't die. So yeah, untap on the landfall. Sorry, not landfall. The Cascade player's turn. No one has islands. He's going to... he can't really hit anyone. So what he's going to do is for... where did it go? 4, 8 is... Oh, he can't because he can't even. He needs to get rid of that even card. Oh, his whole hand is even. He can't play the game. He's going to pass. Like, Cascade is kind of neutered. So untap, draw. Can't play this because it's even. He's going to go 9 commander his way. And he, of course, has to take because he doesn't have flyers. So he's going down to 25 with 9 commander damage. But that's the problem. That stops what he really wants to do. Because draw, land... Well, at least he could have some blockers. I think that's a good thing. What he's going to do is for 2, 4, or let's tap this way, 5. He's going to play Eldrazi Monument. So now all his stuff gets flying in indestructible. Oh, that can't block, so that's good. So he's going to go to combat. And I guess just attempt. Or maybe leave 2 blockers up. He's going to swing all of these at the player right here. Annihilator trigger. He's going to sack the soldier again. And they'll have indestructible anyway, and he can only block with that. So he's going to, well, doesn't have flying, so he has to take it all. So he's going to take 11, 18, 23, go down to 16. So one more hit and he's gone. And then, yeah, the Eldrazi player might get this. And then second main, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, for 5, and this could count as 2, so 7. He's going to regular cast Null Drifter, draw 2 cards. Peek at the top. That's cool. Yeah, no, he might have this next turn. And then pass. So then, Cascade player, Sensei's top. Look at the top. Nothing helpful. But yeah, no, then he's going to draw. He could attack, but then, of course, he's going to just block and they bounce off. And then last but not least, this is where it finished. He's going to sacrifice one of the ones he doesn't need. And then he's just going to cast Emrakul, take some people's stuff, and then swing out. So that would be lethal from the Eldrazi player. So the Eldrazi player got that one. But yeah, no, there were still some cool tricks that were shown in all the decks that I hope you all liked. And then yeah, take it from there.